What's going on, everyone? It's Sviz here, and today we're going to be looking at the Akko CS switches. First off, I really do want to thank Akko for sending me out these switches for review. It really does mean a lot that they would consider me for this, and I'm really appreciative of that. Akko's come out with 3 different types of switches: the Rose Red, Matcha Green, and Ocean Blue. The Rose Red is a linear switch, and then we have the Matcha Green, which is also linear. And lastly, we have the Ocean Blue, which is a tactile. As you can see, the packaging is really beautiful. It features the name of the switch along with the branding, and I'm not sure what language it is. I want to say Mandarin. On the back of the box, it features all the statistics for the switch, like the graph. I don't really pay attention to this stuff, but if you want to, feel free to pause and look at it. The Ocean Blue is a tactile at 55 grams. Then we have the Matcha Green, which is the heavier of their linears. The packaging is beautiful, as previously stated, and it's just so awesome to see the attention to detail. The Matcha Green is 50 grams, and there's the graph for it if you care to see it. But in terms of graphs, I don't really enjoy them as much because I would rather base my purchase on some other info. The Rose Red is a 43 gram linear, and it is actually really light, and I tried it and it wasn't too bad. I did mistype quite a bit, but if you like those lighter linears, then I would definitely recommend this for you. You could also get these switches and spring swap and such. There's plenty of mods, and if you guys do want to see that, please comment and I will make a video on fully modifying the switch to my ability. Let's take a look inside the actual box and see what's inside. When you open it up, it is a very tight packaging, but there's a nice little sleeve, and then we have the hard box. This box is absolutely amazing. It features the shiny Akko branded logo, and this is similar to their keycap case with the shiny logo. Different material, but you can really tell how much time they put into these packages. Then when you take off the top of the box, you're greeted by this plastic tray type thing. The switch pack comes in 45, so I would recommend getting 2 packs for TKL or for a 60%, whatever your preference is, it's up to you. These switches are so vibrant. The Rose Red has to be my favorite switch in terms of aesthetic because it is just so visually appealing. For all these sound tests and such, I will be putting in the switches on my KBD67 Lite from KBD Fans. I apologize, I should have had a review on this board by now, but unfortunately I was having some issues with it, and I've just been really busy with school and stuff, so please forgive me for that. The board is overall really great, and I should be going in depth on it. It's essentially a NK65 killer or another entry edition board, and it is gasket mounted with a polycarbonate plate. So do note that in all of these sound tests, they will sound different from your board based on my lubing techniques or based on the different materials of different cases and such like that. Now let's actually talk about the switches. The 2 linears really did surprise me. Stock, the experience wasn't that bad. The spring did have some ping to it, and it was pretty scratchy, but nothing you wouldn't expect from a stock switch. The way to fix that is by lubing your springs, and of course lubing the switch. To lube the springs, I use Krytox 105 oil, and to lube the main switch, I use Krytox 205 G0, which is a common choice, but for tactiles I would recommend Tribosis. I didn't have any at the time, but if you really do want to pick up those lubes, make sure to head over to Prevail Key Co. I do have an affiliate link with them, you can check the description for that. But back to the switch. When you lube these, they handle it very well. The only scratch you really feel is at the bottom out, and it's very minimal. That brings me to my other part. The bottom out on these switches is really nice. It's not an aggressive sound, and it feels very soft due to the progressive spring. I think that's a great touch from Akko, including progressive springs with their budget-friendly switches. Unfortunately for me, I didn't like the 43 gram tactile as much, but that's because I made a lot of mistakes on it, and it's just a little bit too light for me. But I know some of you guys are speed demons and you enjoy those lighter switches when you type. Now let's talk about the tactile. The tactile was actually my favorite out of these switches. I'd say it's comparable to a lighter and less aggressive T1. T1 switches have a really nice sharp tactility that a lot of people enjoy. This is still very tactile, but I don't think it's as aggressive at all. And I really do like that, but I know a lot of tactile users really enjoy that aggressiveness. One part that I don't enjoy about these switches is it is 3-pin. 3-pin offers less stability, but it honestly doesn't matter as much to me since a lot of my boards handle it very well. Some of you might consider that if you're using a plateless keyboard, which means they might be less stable. The other part I didn't like is the housing of the switch, more specifically the bottom housing. It's not that it isn't tight, it's that it uses a different system, so you cannot use a Cherry MX switch opener. You have to use a Kale style switch opener in order to actually open it to lube it. For me, I used these tweezers and it did a really nice job of it, and I don't really think it's a major concern because you can just pick one of those up for pretty cheap. Overall, these switches really did impress me, and huge props to Akko. If you guys want to support me once again, I do have affiliate links in the description, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. It's just going to be sound tests and comparisons. Peace.